Well, welcome to Thursday Evening Breathing Buddies. Thank you for coming along. We're going to start with my old favourite recovery breath, because I wanted to talk a little bit about nitric oxide. So, let's sit up straight. I think everyone here has done this one before. I won't have to explain it too much then. So, when you're ready, breathe in through your nose and out through your nose. Then cover your nostrils and hold your breath for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe in through your nose, and just a couple of rounds of normal breathing, 10 to 15 seconds. I'll try not to witter too much. Then when you're ready again, breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. Then cover your nose, hold your breath for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 second. Then breathing normally through your nose. So you usually say 2, maybe 3 breaths between each breath hold. So then when you're ready, breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. Pinch your nose and hold your breath for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And breathing normally through your nose a few times. Now I'll let you go on with this at your own pace. So a couple of breaths, then the breath hold. And if that starts to feel anything approaching discomfort, then increase it to 3 breaths. So one of the reasons we do this exercise one of the reasons we cover our nose when we do this exercise is so that we get the benefits of the nitric oxide that's produced in the paranasal sinuses when we breathe through our nose. It's of course one of the 3 gases that's involved in respiration, but it's the one that we know least about because it was only discovered on the exhalation of humans in 1991, and it wasn't until 1995 that they found out that it was being produced in the nasal cavity. So it's a half-life of only a few seconds, so many of its benefits are still undiscovered, potentially. It's hard to study, but it functions as a neurotransmitter, a hormone, and even a free radical. And its functions include the sterilization of inhaled air. It's antibacterial, anti-allergenic, antifungal, and antiviral, and it works to prevent viruses from replicating, including flu and COVID. So there's a lot of good reasons to be breathing through our noses as much as possible through the day and the night. It's a vasodilator, opens up the air, the blood vessels in the lungs, improves the delivery of oxygen around the body. Therefore, it's a bronchodilator, so it helps us to breathe more clearly. Sometimes this can help to remove phlegm from the lungs if we're feeling a bit phlegmy. And the concentration of nitric oxide that originates in the nose is about 100 times higher than the amount that originates lower in the airways. So it's another reason to breathe through our noses as much as we can. Okay, we'll drop that exercise now. And we can move on to good old favourite, breathe light. We're going to do breathe light and some unilateral breathing. So when you're ready, if you haven't done so already, you might want to close your eyes. You could either place one hand on your chest, one on your belly, just above your navel, or just leave both hands in your lap, wherever you feel comfortable. And just notice how you're breathing right now. Hopefully after that last exercise, you're breathing fairly slowly. Maybe you're not, that's fine. We're not trying to change anything just yet. Just noticing how it is. Are you breathing deep and low into the abdomen? Is there any movement in the upper chest, or are you managing to keep that at bay? Now, take your focus to your nostrils. Feeling the slightly cooler air as it enters your nose. Slightly warmer, conditioned air leaving. Cooler air entering. Warmer air on the exhalation. Now I'm going to try and soften. Soften the breathing. Lighten the breathing. Try and breathe a little bit less air. So we're trying to reduce the amount of air we breathe on each round of breathing. That's the tidal volume. If you were breathing, filling the container up to 100, just try and fill it up to 70 instead. And the goal here, as ever, is to create a little bit of air hunger. So that's the feeling that we would like to be breathing a bit more air. If you're feeling that at the moment, if you're feeling like you'd like to be breathing a little bit more air, then that's positive feedback. That means you're doing the exercise correctly. So air hunger is the feeling associated with changing the biochemistry of your blood. It can be slightly more acidic, there'll be slightly more carbon dioxide present, dissolved as carbonic acid in the blood. And when we breathe a little bit less air, which we should try to do for a few minutes every day at least, helps to improve circulation. You might feel your hands warming up, you might feel your feet warming up. Improves circulation to the brain, and it improves oxygen delivery as well. So improved blood supply and improved oxygen delivery to the brain. It's a good recipe for a calmer state of mind. So now that we've hopefully found this edge and working with it, just going to add a little bit of spice. So I'd like you to take your thumb and just cover one nostril then the other. Just find out which one's easiest to breathe through. And we're going to start, we'll keep it easy to begin with. So cover the difficult nostril. And first of all, see if you can carry on breathing at the same sort of rate as before. You might find if the air hunger gets a bit too much, if you find your breathing becoming erratic, or if this is anything more than a comfortable discomfort, then take a slightly deeper breath. See if you can stick with one nostril. If that's too much, then just go back to breathing through both nostrils. So this is it's a way of adding a bit of spice, of turning up the volume a little bit on working with this kind of increased levels of carbon dioxide. But we don't want it to get too much, we don't get too difficult, too high level of discomfort. We just always want to be hanging around the edge of the air hunger. And now, we'll turn it up a notch again. Let's cover the other nostril. This could feel considerably worse. It does for me. Let's just see if we can stick at it for a minute or so. Breathing very lightly through this nostril now. Can you lighten it even more, just for the last 10-20 seconds? Get to the point that even the hairs in your nose aren't moving. And ready to take off the tight-fitting shoe. Return to breathing through both nostrils, and that should feel like a real relief, of course. So if you need to, just take a few full breaths, but then return to the exercise. See if you can get back to a comfortable place with a little bit of discomfort just on the edge, like eating spicy food. The reason I like to do that experiment every now and again, I think it says something about our ability to tolerate those kinds of feelings and that kind of restriction to our breathing as well. There's a relationship to perhaps how we breathe at night. If we snore, if we sleep with the mouth open, we end up snoring, or at least waking up with a dry mouth every day. It's often because it can feel harder to breathe through the nose at night. Airways start to relax and collapse. And so we just default to breathing through the bigger hole. But it's possible to feel fairly comfortable breathing through just one nostril. Which, if you are a mouth breather at night, is a little bit of motivation to try and think about ways to switch to nasal breathing. Also, that relates to our ability to breathe through the nose when doing moderate exercise. Similar situation, we need to breathe more air, or it feels like we're suffocating, so we just default to opening the mouth. But a lot of benefits to be had from switching to nasal breathing when exercising as well. The more you do it, the easier it gets. The more you practice breathing through one nostril, the better your tolerance will be to the carbon dioxide in your blood. Okay, just drop that exercise now. Take a few deeper breaths. And we're going to do some slow and deep breathing. So a reminder that deep means low into the abdomen. Feeling the belly expand and the ribs move laterally outwards on each inhalation, and to the back as well. And then as the diaphragm relaxes back to its starting position on the exhalation, feeling everything close in 360 degrees. We'll do some counting. My favourite numbers, 4 and 6. I'm going to start with a simple 1 to 1, in for 4 and out for 4, which might feel a little bit fast, but then we'll extend the exhalation to 6 breaths, then we'll add a little pause at the end. So we need to get in sync. So when you're ready, exhale, then breathe in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, and exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4, in. We're going to breathe out for 6 after this, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4, out. We'll put a little pause at the end of this one. 4, 5, 6. Pause. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pause. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pause. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pause. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pause. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pause. Breathe in. I'm going to drop the counting after this round. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pause. Now carry on at your own rate. As ever, what we're looking for is an exhalation longer than the inhalation and a little pause at the end. We'll be breathing now around about a rate of 5 breaths per minute, 6 breaths per minute, which is super relaxed rate of breathing. And this shape is what we're looking for. Slightly shorter inhalation in relation to a longer exhalation. Little pause at the end. Now, I usually say if you want at this point to try and add some air hunger. So I wonder if this time, maybe the way to do that, at the end of each exhalation, see if you can make the pause a little bit longer. Don't jump too far to begin with, but maybe it's a pause for maybe 3 beats or 4 beats rather than the 2 that we were doing. It's not really a competition, but can you extend it just a little bit so that you get a little bit, just get to that point where you think, yeah, I need to breathe again now. And then satiate that feeling. You'll probably know if you've gone a little bit too far on the following breath. It'll start to feel like you want to breathe a bit faster. But try and stick with it and just make it a shorter pause at the end of the next breath. So working with air hunger like this can be a gentler, kind of more relaxing way of improving our tolerance to carbon dioxide compared to the breathe light exercise, which can get quite intense. And even just by breathing slowly, we probably halved the breathing rate that we usually have just day to day by doing this exercise. So even just breathing slowly is working. Like lifting lots of lighter weights at the gym. It's working to change the biochemistry of the blood, apply a hormetic stress, and over time the body will adapt. Okay, so just a couple more breaths, and you can drop the exercise, move back to breathing however your body wants to right now. We're going to end the session today with the physiological side. So that's just as a reminder, that's a deep low breath in, then you top it up a little bit, little sniff at the top, then exhale. So when you're ready, inhale, top it up, and exhale. Then inhale, top it up, exhale. Inhale, top it up, exhale. Inhale, top it up, exhale. Last one. Inhale, top it up, and exhale. And then just let your breathing turn to whatever pattern and pace it wants to be in right now. Thank you for joining me this evening.